At least it seemed like another night at the Frost house. Kirk and Rasheeda, famous entrepreneurs, have been juggling family and business and trying to keep their marriage alive. However, underneath the surface issues, there were murmurs regarding Kirk's devotion to Rasheeda and her increasing irritations as they made their way through the crazy and glitzy world of reality TV. Few couples have had as much of an impact on viewers as Rasheeda Buckner Frost and Kirk. Their path through hip-hop, ambition, and love has included drama, love, betrayal, and ambition. Their fan following has been shocked by recent developments, though, and their once envied relationship has become a contentious issue that attracts media attention. Unfortunately, this was real life. Although the scenario would have made for captivating entertainment, the atmosphere grew hotter as the evening went on. What started off as a conversation about typical home problems swiftly escalated into a violent confrontation with loud shouts and disparaging comments. The noise startled the neighbors, who called 911 to report a domestic disturbance. There was an obvious feeling of anxiety when the cops showed up at the Frost residence. The police decided to arrest Kirk after speaking with all parties involved and performing a quick situational analysis. Rasheeda's eyes were red and puffy, and she was crying furiously. People who had followed the pair on social media through their highs and lows were shocked, surprised, and worried when the news broke. And Downs had to accept that their cherished friend was now involved in such a serious circumstance. Rasheeda's passionate Instagram post fueled the flames. "I shouldn't have to deal with this. I should be protected and treated with respect." As the story progressed, it became clear that this was not merely an upset outburst, but rather the result of deeper issues that had plagued their relationship for years. The story's portrayal of her emphasized both her strength and tenderness. A powdercade of emotions waiting for the proper spark was created by speculation among entertainment industry insiders on the potential impact of reality television celebrities on their personal lives in the wake of the fallout. The urge to paint a perfect picture might set off a flurry of emotions when one is grappling with inner issues. Some came together to support Rasheeda and urge her to prioritize her safety despite their disagreements, while some fans voiced their dissatisfaction with the hostility that was present in both online and real-world settings. Others vowed to support Kirk and begged for understanding and sympathy, highlighting the hardships they had endured. Rasheeda turned to her close friends and family for support in her search for understanding and healing. She reflected about her marriage and the benefits and drawbacks of each love journey they had taken together, each of which seemed to have been accompanied by a sense of disappointment or betrayal. Although the cameras captured their lives in black and white, the reality was much more nuanced. Before his court date, Kirk had to deal with the consequences of his actions, the event's impact, and the true state of his marriage. As he readied himself for his court appearance, he said, "I love Rasheeda, and I want to make things right." But the road to reconciliation was anything but clear. Concerns about whether Kirk would accept responsibility for his conduct and if Rasheeda would decide to stay with him or not were raised as the day of the court hearing approached. Though the stakes were higher, the drama was evocative of the most gripping love and hip-hop episodes. Rasheeda was committed to prioritizing the health of both herself and her kids. According to her close friends, she was considering her options and imagining what life would be like without Kirk. Higher because they knew what was going to happen. The conclusion of the narrative conveys a warning about the inconsistency of love and the challenges of building relationships. As the story of Kirk and Rasheeda has come to symbolize real lives are at risk behind the glamour and glitz of reality TV. Frost's journey was assured, but the future was uncertain. Kirk Frost was ready to share a startling revelation that had rocked the entertainment world while he leaned on the sleek countertop of his opulent studio. The weight of his revelation weighed heavily on his face, which showed a mix of surprise and boiling anger. Rasheeda, his ex-wife and ex-partner, was charged with embezzling $9 million from their joint companies. "I've been struggling with this fact for far too long. It's not just hearsay." The first thing Kirk spoke was softly and passionately. "I trusted her, so the fact that she had been stealing money from us seemed like a complicated betrayal." Previously a hub for innovation and collaboration, the studio now has a hostile atmosphere. Kirk reflected about their early years together with a twinge of regret and longing. They transformed their dreams into a well-known brand with lifestyle and fashion divisions by collaborating to create a flourishing music business empire. Kirk believed that their success was a result of hard work and respect for one another, but as the business grew, so did the difficulties. Kirk shook his head, recalling the past. "I thought it was just mismanagement or accounting errors," he stated. However, after noticing initially minor but eventually significant differences in their financial situation, I began to pay closer attention. When I found records of transfers that didn't make sense, it was like watching a house of cards collapse before my very eyes. When he decided to have a forensic accountant look at the accounts, the situation got worse. It was a gut punch when the news finally came in. Rasheeda was personally implicated in the data's distressing portrayal of betrayal, which included prohibited withdrawals and disguised behavior. His voice hardly lifted above a whisper. He answered, "Devastating to see those statistics. Disagreement on commercial matters is one thing, but this was blatant theft." As he waited for the outcome, Kirk's fear of approaching disaster increased every day. He felt his heart racing. "I wasn't feeling great." As Kirk remembered the moment the accountant gave him the report, the data gleamed. A symbol of misguided faith and dashed expectations. People gorged themselves on every detail of the couple's turbulent, passionate, and acrimonious past as a result of the Kirk v. Rasheeda social media sensation. Kirk and Rasheeda's admirers and supporters were shocked and appalled by their reactions. "I would never be able to get over the agony of learning that the person I trusted the most was stealing the money I had used to start our company." As the drama intensified, Kirk took a moment to reflect on their relationship and the highs and lows they had shared over the years. "I never thought it would come to this. It feels like I'm losing not just a business partner, but someone who was once my best friend," said Kirk. Rasheeda said nothing, which only stoked speculation. Kirk, surrounded by the ruins of their previous shared goals, sat in the studio and screamed, "I want answers. She should explain what she did to me and why she believes she could get away with it. Together, we constructed this." The money isn't the only consideration. Kirk began researching his legal alternatives in a desperate attempt to recover what had been lost. He felt compelled to take action since the loss included more than simply money. It involved integrity and respect. "I have made a lot of effort to develop this empire, and I want to maintain it mercilessly." Planning his next course of action and seeking legal advice, this discovery would undoubtedly upend their entire personal and professional lives, and there might even be legal repercussions. How would this affect their relationship with fans, even though Kirk handled this? A compelling narrative that would enthrall viewers was made possible by Kirk Frost's disclosure of Rasheeda's purported betrayal, as well as the difficult situation he faced. A complex web of emotions, painful betrayal, and the unresolved question of how love could turn so sour were hidden beneath the glamour and luxury of their public personalities. He prepared for the fight ahead with his insight, a renewed sense of purpose. "I owe it to myself and to our legacy to see this through," he stated. Kirk continued by saying that despite criticism and assurances from friends and allies that he wasn't waging this battle alone and that accountability was ultimately what would win the day, his resolve strengthened and he refused to give up. Put the viewers to rest. Kirk felt he needed to prepare for the impending storm. Because the real scenario would soon, even while the future was uncertain, one thing was for sure: the struggle between betrayal and love would take unforeseen turns, leaving spectators eager to see how this thrilling chapter would conclude. Kirk felt a growing tide of betrayal and loathing sweep over him with every stride he went across the dimly lit living room. He was so overcome by Rasheeda's disclosure that he could hardly speak. "You really did it," he said, his voice husky and hoarse. "You cheated on me." Rasheeda stood with her arms folded and a look of defiance on her face. "It seems like you think you're the only one who has fun once in a while, Kirk. I came here not to assign blame." Confusion and rage soaked into his heart. I knew who, if anyone else. Did you actually? It's probably best for me to give up and move on. You had your share of late nights and whisper chats, so you don't get to ask me questions. Is it really your opinion that I would disregard it? With the vicious glitter in her eyes, she edged closer. I felt like we were building something real, even though you left me feeling bad. Kirk frowned and remarked, "Well, welcome to the club." Her respiration quickened. "It's about protecting myself, not about getting even." Her words trailed off, and her haughtiness shifted just enough to see the pain beneath the anger. I can no longer tolerate this any longer. Devastated by misbehaving, he ran a hand through his hair. "You have a reason now. You believed that you might succeed if you just cheated back." His voice grew steadier as he attempted to maintain his composure when I stepped forward in the hopes that he could change. Someone who is trampled underfoot. So why didn't he just tell me rather than confront me about what I did? He whispered, "I never wanted that. I thought we were in this together," aware that her spark had gone out. "Admittedly, I couldn't have waited for your decision. This taken together, do you think I wanted to be the one to tell the lie? You diminished my value. Every time I tried to speak with you, it was like hitting a brick wall, and I felt invisible to you. I felt like I had no idea what to do." With tears glinting in the corners of her eyes, Rasheeda shook her head. Kirk took a long breath, and his expression softened as he realized how serious what she had said was. "I had no idea that I was trying to keep things light in order to keep you safe. To keep us afloat, tell us lies." He stepped forward again, his anger masking his frailty. Her tone had become softened as she fired back. "Silence and half-truths cannot be the foundation of a friendship. I'm sorry. I thought I could manage everything by myself. I didn't want to hurt you, so please tell me what you want right now." "Kirk," she asked, almost in a whisper, "now what do you want from us?"